Many of my professional writing classes helped me prepare for my internship this summer. One of them was WRA 360, which deals with aspects of design. Specifically, in this class, we read a document by Lupton about the rhetorical handbook. In this writing, we learned that documents can easily be misinterpreted because common symbols apply for multiple things. We also learned that there are different ways to appeal to your audience. You can do it through ethos, pathos, or logos. While working for my internship, I use these different types of advice, specifically when I'm doing photography or video work. I'm going to show you examples of this photography that have been posted onto MSU's official Instagram account. So this is Michigan State's official Instagram page. As you can see, they post a lot of different pictures in a large variety. I'm not the only person who creates content for this website. We have professional photographers through Michigan State who can contribute content, along with regrams from other students. There's a large variety of photos, as you can see again, and they almost all have a Michigan State theme very specifically. So they say MSU, or they have a symbol, or they're green, or they reference Sparty, or they're a photo on campus. We very rarely post a picture that is not very easily and very apparently directly tied to the university. Interning for Michigan State gives me the opportunity to take pictures of people and places that I normally wouldn't get the chance. One example of this was when Steve Aoki came to Michigan State during the school year for a concert and later a flash mob in front of the Broad Art Museum. Because of my opportunities to take these photos, it's very helpful that I had the skills that I've learned from my professional writing classes so that these photos are more professional looking. In WRA 360, we learned about the importance of color contrast. In this image, I chose to take a photo of the pad thai from the cafeteria. While my assignment was to take a picture of any of the food from the cafeteria, I chose this dish specifically because of the contrasting orange in the rolls and green in the lime. The cream and brown serve as a good base in the background. Here's another example of color contrast. I took this photo in the Broad Art Museum as part of Michigan State's MSU Photo a Day event. This event was done in March, and we had specific assignments to do for each day that we would use for the Instagram. This one was called Looking Up. This photo I thought would work well for our site, seeing as a museum is something that we like to highlight, and also it had good contrast with the cream background and the brightly colored stuffed toys hanging from the ceiling. One of the most important things that I learned in my design classes has been about the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds talks about, in a photo or image, you divide the image into a grid system. So you divide it so it has 9 squares evenly. In this way, you want to make sure that you have your main subject in just a third of the image, like to the side, not centered exactly, so it makes it more visually appealing. This is one of the lessons that I have applied to most of my photographs. So first you can see this one on the red cedar. And then I also have another that was actually used in an app, and so we specifically divided it into 3 separate images to create the rule of thirds, which is a cool way to do editing when you have a lot of photos from an event that you want to use. Another thing that I did was apply a filter to one of the photos. This doesn't take away to the rule of thirds, it adds the different kind of color which can go along again with the color contrast before. This kind of takes away from some of the contrast, I think, but we like to use filters on our website. Lastly, here's an image that I took during MSU Herpetology Club's big exhibition night. So I chose to keep the subject off to the side, even though his big playground type of wooden structure is the focus of the entire photo. You can see that the animal itself is set to the side to draw the eye there.